I'm just saying, for the people that hate Lizzie so much because she's a bully, you might want to look at the comments that some of y'all are leaving. Just saying. Hey guys, what's up? It's Ashley. Welcome back to my channel. I've been debating on whether or not I wanted to make this video, but I think we're at this point now. So basically, last night I was scrolling Goodreads trying to find something to read, and so I went into my TBR folder, and obviously I had put Releasing 10 in there. And as I'm scrolling, I noticed that it has quite a low rating. As of right now, this is the current rating of Releasing 10. And I thought that was very odd for a book that hasn't been released yet, and ARCs haven't even been sent out. So then I clicked on it, and then I'm like, you know what? This isn't odd. This is Lizzie Young's book. So I click on the 1-star review, and of course, every single 1-star review is about how they hate Lizzie. How could Chloe ever write about a bully? Bully. That's all I see. And you know what? To judge a character before you even have their POV, and to review bomb a book that hasn't even been out yet, loser behavior. I'm just saying, loser behavior. To understand this unhealthy obsession with the hatred of the character of Lizzie Young, and I emphasize the word character because this is a fucking character here. We need to really talk about everything. So there will be spoilers in this video. If you have not read through Taming 7, that is your warning. Click away. If you don't want to read Taming 7 but you want all the tea, keep watching, I guess. But let's rewind. Let's go back in time like we always do to Chloe's Facebook page. All right. So back in the day, before Chloe turned over her social media and everything to her manager and her publishers and all of that, she shared a lot of her writing process with her readers on her Facebook group. And a lot of us were under the assumption that Huey and Lizzie's book was going to be after Redeeming 6. And if you look at the context of Redeeming 6, a lot of that makes sense because there was more Huey and Lizzie sprinkled in that book with like mystery and what the heck is going on with them that I really wanted to know. And if you look at companion novel found family series, that's usually what authors will do, is they will tease the next couple in the current book. Now, a lot of people will argue and say that Claire and Gibbsy have had way more page time, screen time, whatever you call it. And yes, you could say that in the Binding and Keeping 13 duet. Not for Joey and Aoife's story, though. In the Binding and Keeping 13 duet, it's also pretty much emphasized that Gibbsy wants Claire to see the world and experience things before she settles down with him. And so everybody was kind of under the consensus that Claire and Gibbsy's story would be last. And when you look at a lot of found family series like that, it is usually the friends to lovers that are last because you just see this tension and angst with them throughout the whole series. And so it made a lot more sense to a lot of us that Huey and Lizzie's story was going to be next. When it was announced it was actually going to be Gibbsy and Claire, I was confused, but at the same time, I wasn't. And so I look at that entire summer as to why. So it was announced that Chloe had gone published at the beginning of the summer, but we didn't know what the book was going to be until August. And so the entire summer, Chloe or Elle, her social media manager, whoever was managing Chloe's Instagram at this time, was sharing a lot of snippets and teasers to whatever the next book would be. And in my opinion, and a lot of my friends' opinions that I had talked to about, we had thought a lot of those teasers were more Lizzie and Huey coded than they were Claire and Gibbsy. And so I just remember so many negative comment after negative comment basically threatening Chloe, saying that the next book better be Claire and Gibbsy. No one cares about anything else, and it better sure as hell not be Lizzie's book because these people will refuse to read it. And it was full on nasty. And I'm just saying, for the people that hate Lizzie so much because she's a bully, you might want to look at the comments that some of y'all are leaving. Just saying. When we flash forward, Taming Seven comes out. We all read it, and it has mixed reviews. All right. So I enjoyed the story, but I also felt like there were things missing, and it felt, I don't know, like it was thrown together in a weird way. And so if you look at all of this context, I truly believe in my heart that Huey and Lizzie's book was supposed to be next. But because she had gone published, and because there's this huge outcry of Claire Gibbsy positivity, I really think the publishers wanted to just play it safe and be like, this needs to be the book that is next. And it fell flat. And you know what? I think the fact that there was so much Lizzie and Huey in that book, I think it proves it. I think Chloe really wanted to get their part done next, but I think she was told to do Claire and Gibbsy next, and so that is why we had Taming Seven and the mess that it turned out to be. Now, I also understand that there is this consensus that people don't really trust Chloe's narrative, because in the Binding and Keeping 13 duet, it was emphasized that Lizzie and Feely were going to be a couple, but here's the thing. I have read that duet multiple times, and I've read it multiple times after Joey's duet came out, and I really still think there was always this Lizzie Huey thing, because here's the thing that you have to look at. These books are set in a time where 2000s teen drama toxicity is the focal point. And Chloe in the books references One Tree Hill and the OC, and she has even said she uses those things in her books. If you have watched the OC, look at the Coens. Look at the Kavanaughs and tell me that inspiration did not come from there, okay? And so One Tree Hill is so famous for this huge toxic love triangle. And so for people to say that this is too much, it's too much, what's with all this drama? Babes, you weren't around for this time, and it shows that, okay? I am a little bit younger than these characters. I'm the same age as Ty Lynch, Joey and Shannon's younger brother. And I graduated in 2011, and so I have a good, like, this was our teenhood, okay? Cheating and messiness, that is what it was, and this is what Chloe is showing in these series. And so just to see comment after comment, this is not realistic, I don't want this. This is what this has always been, and Chloe's writing has shown in each book how messy Lizzie is. Okay, so yeah, you know what? Feely probably does have feelings for Lizzie, but you know what? It's going to turn into something else, because you know what? These are teenagers, and these relationships are not that serious, okay? Teenage relationships are not that serious. Yeah, Feely is allowed to like Lizzie, and Lizzie is allowed to like Feely before she realizes Huey is her big love, or before Feely discovers Katie is his big love. That is allowed to happen. And you know what? It happens in other books. Female main characters flirt with other guys all the time, and you're starting to see, this guy's not so bad. It happens. So this hatred, it's unhealthy, and I will never understand it. I never will. Now, I am also under the impression that from the comments, from the accounts and everything that post these, there seems to be a divide of the people that absolutely despise Lizzie and the people that don't mind her, and it's age. It all comes down to age. Majority of the negative comments that I see about Lizzie are people that are younger, like low 20s and teens. And the people that see Lizzie and understand her and want to read her are older. And here's the thing, you guys, as teenagers, this might hurt to say, but it is a fact. Your frontal lobe is not fully developed yet. And so when you look at the actions of Lizzie and you look at everything that she has had to deal with in her life, give the homegirl a fucking break. Give her a break. Okay, so let's look at everything that we learn about in Taming Seven. Okay, so we learn that Huey and Lizzie and Claire and Gibbsy and Feely, they were all huge friends. They played all the time. Lizzie's sister Kiva, everybody just got along and they all loved Kiva. Kiva was like everybody's babysitter. Okay, and up until the end of Taming Seven, every book, we are under the impression, every character is under the impression that Lizzie has lost her sister because she was SA'd by Gibbsy's older stepbrother, okay? That was the narrative for so many years, was that everybody believed that Kiva was SA'd by Mark, and so she unalived herself, okay? So she was 11 years old at this time, and she lost her sister, and this was what she has believed for all of these years. And she's also bipolar, okay? She's young. Her frontal lobe is not developed. So you're telling me that if you're 11 years old and your older brother or sister unalives themselves due to that, you're not allowed to have pain and frustration? Am I getting that right? Now, before you come and argue with me, because I've seen this argument too, well, what about Shannon? Shannon never treats people like this. No, she doesn't. And you know why? Because the point of this series, yes, it's trauma porn, but you know what I love about it? Is Chloe makes every character deal with their trauma in very different ways. You look at Johnny, because yes, Johnny has trauma. He is dealing with a sports injury that he is trying to ignore for his whole book. And yes, that is his trauma response, is I have to be perfect. I'm going to ignore this. Nothing else matters. Then you look at Shannon, and we all know what Shannon had to deal with, okay? Then you look at Joey. Joey dealt with drugs and substance abuse problems, okay? Gibbsy uses humor. So why is Lizzie not allowed to have her outlet, okay? Yes, I get that she's being mean, but you know what? Aren't we all a little mean? Don't we all have some bully in us? Because I'm going back to some of the comments y'all leave. Y'all preach that Lizzie is this horrible, horrible bully, that she should go unalive herself. Yes, I've seen those comments. People have said that this book series would be so much better off if Lizzie would go unalive herself. Be so fucking for real right now. You know, at the end of the day, I really don't know what the root of this is and what it boils down to. I don't know if it's a misogyny thing, because I look at another series to compare. So the Devil's Night series by Penelope Douglas. If you have read that series, you will know that it is also a found family companion novel series where every book is going to be a different couple, and these characters go through the ringer. Yes, it's a dark romance, and yes, they do some very illegal things, but they are all very much there for each other. And there is a character named Damon, and Damon is a horrible, horrible person. And in the first two books, there is no redeeming him. Absolutely, you just know everything horrible about him, and you don't think he has one redeeming quality. And so I remember when I was reading those first two books, knowing I was going to have to read about him for the third one, I was like, why? There's no way in hell this guy could ever redeem himself. But guess what? Then I read his book, and I read his POV, and I got inside his mind, and then I couldn't judge him anymore. So all of this attitude of I absolutely refuse to read this character, this is a complex character. I'm sorry, do you not find a bipolar 17-year-old that has lost her sister, do you not find that a complex character? You don't find that fascinating? You don't find that interesting to read about? Because I find that interesting. I think that's way more interesting to read than to be in a sunshine female character's point of view like Claire. No offense to Claire, but she gave me nothing in Taming Seven. Absolutely nothing. And so yeah, I want a complex female character. I love Nesta from the Akatar series. She's my favorite in that series, and she was my favorite before I even got to Silver Flames. So yes, sue me. I love the complex female character. I think I have rambled enough, and I've gotten my point across, but yeah, this book this book is not out yet for another month. And I just have a feeling that these review bombers are just going to continue doing it. And here's the thing. I just fear that it's going to get to the point that people will bully Chloe from finishing this series. And that really is a damn shame. But I'm just saying to all the people out there that claim to absolutely love this series, but then continue this unhealthy hatred of one of the main characters, maybe reflect on that a little bit. If you truly are one of those people that believe in your heart that Lizzie is worse than Teddy, Lynch, or Mark, maybe reflect on that. Really, really think to yourself, why do I believe this? Because, like I said before, teenagers are young. Teenagers are still figuring themselves out. And teenagers are allowed faults. And the things that Lizzie has done, yeah, I think she deserves a break. Because you know what? She hasn't essayed anyone. She hasn't killed anyone. She pushed Gibbsy in the water. But you know what? She had a response right after that. And so, I don't know. Like I said, just if you really have these strong hatred feelings for her, I don't know. Think about it, reflect about it. Maybe read the book before you review bomb it, or just maybe don't read it at all and then don't review bomb it because you haven't read it. I don't know. Anyways, that is all for now, but as always, don't forget to hit like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.